Well, hi everybody. How you doing out there? Uh, I guess this whole year is going to be six of one, half a dozen of the other. Looks like they did get some Trump indictments going down, but at the same time, the Supreme Court just crapped on the United States, and we'll just have to see what happens. Well, how's everybody doing? I'm back. Oh Lord, it seems like every time something good, it's like communism used to be. What would they do? Two steps forward and one step back. It's like every time something good happens, two things bad happens. But anyway, it looks like the Supreme Court's crapping on the whole world. Not the whole world, but the United States. I'd like to see that change. Um, let's hope that Linda G's right. She's always saying that that's going to get changed out. I pray from heaven on high that that's coming through. Um, this old lady needs to be amazed anyway, and it would amaze me. I'm not going to get my surgery on the 9th. Everything was supposed to be set up, and I was going in for my pre-op, and it's not because I'm not healthy. It's because the heart doctors are holding out for more money. The first one that cleared me was my main heart doctor. His buddy that works in the same office that gave me the ablations has been trying to get me to do one of those Watchmen ever since I got my third ablation, telling me I can get off blood thinners. But I've done the research over and over again on it. It doesn't get you off blood thinners. And it looks like it doesn't save your life. It looks like if you throw a clot, you're more apt to die, although it's supposed to keep you from dying when you throw a clot. So anyway, and they got nickel in them. They go inside your heart. I don't want one. I've told them 1,000 times I'm not going to have one put in. And they said, oh, that's all right. You don't have to. We were just suggesting it so you could get off your blood thinner. But now they're blackmailing me because here I was ready to go in and get that knee surgery, and they wouldn't let my knee doctor take me off Eliquis, which is a blood thinner. But anyway, I'm going to go see, I call her the nurse, but she's not. She's a medical assistant or something at the heart place at Scripps. I'm going to go in and talk to her tomorrow. And I am really pissed because what happened by delaying this, by not getting the paperwork through and not okaying it, they wanted to postpone it for like 2 weeks. But my daughter has to be here to take care of me for a couple of days when I come out of the hospital, and she has a life, and she had vacations planned all over the United States with both of her grown kids and grandkids all the way through next month. And I wouldn't expect her to cancel her plans, and she's not going to. So it looks like I may not get my knee surgery till September, and I started to get upset about it, and I thought it is what it is, and there's usually a reason for everything. So I just have to be careful and not fall between then and there, because my other leg's getting so much better that I'm getting kind of I'm walking normal and getting kind of where I'm not so terrified of falling, and I better start being careful, because that's when you need to be careful, when you start not paying attention. Especially me. I was born clumsy, and I was a good dancer, believe it or not, and loved to dance. I'm pretty darn good at it for not having any muscles in my legs, but I've always been a clumsy person. Anyway, I love you all, and thank you for watching this if you're watching it. And I wasn't going to go into any medical stuff, but I did, didn't I? I wasn't going to go into a lot of things. So it looks like some of the Trumps might be getting indicted before this is all over. I really do feel like this is just the beginning of that. And I haven't read or anything on it. I mean, I've read a little bit on them over and over again. You all know that. But I haven't read on this particular thing. I don't think they're going to get a deal for that environment where they fix the roads and stuff. Good Lord, I know what it's called. I don't think they're going to get a deal on that. I really don't. Although the Republicans have already put it off where the people are going to pay for it, they're going to. I don't know why they do that. I get so upset. And I am, and always have been, a Democrat before I started getting letters from everybody. But I don't know why the Democrats do that. When the Republicans have control, they let them walk them just down into the grave, just walk all over them, and even, you know, when Obama was in, and once they lost, you know, their House and Senate, they walked all over them. But when they get in, they're supposed to ask the Republicans permission for everything, on what to put in their bills, what not to. It's got to be bipartisan. When the Republicans have been obviously just pooping in the Democrats' face when it comes to being bipartisan. And all of a sudden, here comes Super Joe, and he's going to only do things bipartisan. And he's got his friend Joe, who's going to make sure he does, because he's asking him for permission to do everything he has to do. Anyway, I don't even want to go there. I just, I'm not putting Joe Biden down. He's a nice old man. I'm a nice old woman. We're the same age. But they need somebody in there that can actually see what's going on around him. And I don't think he has a clear view of what's going on around him. And it's like he's still living back 40 years ago. And a bill is bipartisan if all the people want it. No, just because a bunch of traitors that happen to be in the Republican House and the Republican Senate or whatever. It's because the people in the House and Senate that are Republicans don't want this is no reason to think that the rest of the United States that are Republicans don't want this. So by calling it not bipartisan, if you don't go in and kiss their asses, I don't understand it. And if you guys understand that, you can explain that to me. But don't tell me why. Don't send me bills of all these excuses of why they can't do this. I get so tired of hearing that. And, you know, whether it's the ethics gal in there or what do they call her? Oh, I don't know. You know, they've got any excuses they can find that keep them from being able to do what the people want them to do, because they're doing what their donors want them to do. And having people like Manchin and Sinema in there blocking them is just fine with a lot of the old, talking about the old Republicans, the old guard, the ones that's been in there for years, that's been taking that corporate money for years. And they know our democracy's going down, but they're so old they're going anyway, and I guess they just don't care. I don't know what they're thinking. But they're sure, if I was them, I'd be totally panicked and doing everything I could to get things taken care of, to get rid of the filibuster, to do all this stuff. Instead of, it's like they're just biding their time. And maybe that'll work. You know, I've heard some of the other psychics say, well, that's because the Democrats are just going to win everything in the next election. Well, maybe. It could happen. Like I said, I'd love to see it happen. But even if they win everything, then they won't have an excuse not to do what they've been talking about. So, are they? I mean, who's paying who up there? I'm sure it's all money, and I don't know if it's ever really going to get better until it's almost so out of hand that it's got to go all the way down and be built back up again. And I hate to say that, but if we mess around, and I won't be around to see it, but if we mess around in the next 15 years and pull ourselves out of this and get back to a somehow regulated two-sided democracy, or three-sided, that would even be nicer, but if we were to get back to that, it would be only from the hand of God, is what I feel like. It would just be His hand over everything, taking care of it. And I felt a calmness come over my whole body when I said that. So maybe that's what's God, that feels good. Maybe that's what's coming through. I'm still feeling it. It's just going through my whole body. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. But meanwhile, I'm just going to read. There's no reason on reading it on anything too. Well, I'm going to read on something. I got somebody that just said Melania with a big old question mark, and I know I've been talking about reading for her, and I'm wondering what her and her son's up to. In fact, I was even wondering that not for my cards, but for myself the other night when I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep. And I just thought, well, what is going on with Melania? I've been trying to figure out what's going on with her, even even when I'm not thinking of reading on it. So I'm going to read on Melania. So what's going on with Melania, and I'm also going to, because he's part of her family and they live together, and he's almost 18 now, or he should be. He looks like he's whatever, older, but anyway, he's a big boy now. I'm sure he's a big boy being raised in the Trump house. So let's see what him and her and her son's doing. That's terrible. I can't think of his name right now, and I should remember that name. That's the phony name Trump used to use all the time when he was pretending to be his own publicity man. But I can't think of it's not Brandon. It's anyway. We know her son's name. So what's Melania and her son doing? Mostly Melania, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her son in here. As soon as I get through doing this reading, I'll know his name. I'll know every name that I try to think of in this. I don't know what happens the minute I turn the camera on or start this. It's like I go away and somebody else comes in, I swear. We'll see. What's going on with Melania? I know that if she's going to stay with her son, she's probably not allowed in the same house with Trump because he's taller than Trump, and Trump don't like him because of that. That much I've known for a long time. And so that might be part of what's going on. I don't think that's what's going on, but that's... I looked at this card 10 times while I was doing all that shuffling, and I kept burying it, sticking it back in there, covering it, and then I cut right down to it. So they're worried about money. They're worried. She's worried that there's going to be enough money left for her. She's worried if she's even going to get the money that's promised to her. So that's actually what's on her mind, is laying low and holding on to the money. She's worried about the new administration coming in. She knows where a lot of the bodies are buried. She knows, even though she always acts really snooty and above reproach and entitled and everything else, just like Ivanka and the rest of them, she still knows they've been cutting corners and they've been doing things they shouldn't do ever since she got with Trump. So she's worried about the administration and trying to get things back to somewhere legal and what that might do to Trump. She's worried about the government coming after them and their money. And it looks like they might owe a lot of money before this thing's through, unless they can figure out. They'll get out of it on a technicality. Remember, you heard that here. They'll have so much evidence that they could almost hang them all, and they'll get out of it on a technicality. But anyway, let's hope not. But Anyway, my guides told me that once today. Well, we'll see. I hope it's wrong. Anyway, she's not sleeping at nights. She's laying awake nights, not sleeping. On the way there. She's already gone away. She's not living with Trump. She's living with her parents, I think. Barron, like the robber baron. Her and Barron are living with her parents, I think. But she's thinking about going further away. She's wondering if she can just get totally away from him. They have offered her a couple of things to stay around, and she don't want it. She stayed till he was out of there, and she said no, she ain't staying no any longer. She stayed her term. She's done her time. She's just terrified that all the money's going to get taken away. This is like the mercenary. And she's also a little terrified for herself. She's feels like as long as she's in the public's eye, that she might be safe, and that she feels that, you know, that they wouldn't actually hurt Barron, even though he's taller than his dad. I know this sounds silly, but that's a pretty silly family. But she just doesn't feel really safe either. And she knows the less money she takes, the safer she'll be. She's really worried about all the things that could be coming through that she doesn't think, that hasn't been filed, the charges that haven't been filed, the subpoenas, the indictments. This is what she sees all around her. She cannot see any way out of this. This is kind of showing from the inside out what's really going on. I'm glad I read on her. She feels totally encased in this lawsuit and in these lawsuits. So she, I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. I always do this and then get it too bright in here. But she is, she's just totally worried about what could be coming out. And, you know, I have a strange feeling that this is about the deal that she was in on. This is to do with that inauguration money that came up missing. The money from the inauguration. And that was millions and millions, maybe $1 billion. I don't know. It was a lot of money. Her main fear is that they're not going to give up on this. The government, the prosecutors, that they're going to keep after them till they prove. And prove what? That you don't screw with the U.S. Till they prove that you just can't get away with this crap, not and be president. The stupidest thing, and I said this the night that he got elected, and I said it as soon as one of the first things I said when I started this channel, which has been over 3 years ago. I don't know how long it's been. I know it's been over 3 years ago. Is that Donald Trump was going to rue the day that he got the presidency. And I knew he would. Because it was a double-edged sword. Because he had too much corruptness and too much past to be in that role, where you should have had to let everybody know what your taxes were and everything else. And just the fact that, well, we didn't need the fact that he wouldn't show. We knew that to start with, anybody that was paying attention. So Melania is worried about losing her money because of the new administration, the government going after them and their company. She's losing sleep at night. She's already not living with Donald, but she's trying to figure out how to get away from him totally and divorce him. They're offering her to stay. She's saying no way, no way, no way. She's even a little bit worried. They've threatened her just a little bit to stay. She knows there's all kinds of more indictments and court cases coming. And her fear is that she might get tangled up in them for the stuff at the inauguration that she was involved in. And yes, America is going to win over this. So that's what's going on with her. And remember, this is political tarot readings for fun and entertainment only. So you don't need to write me nasty notes. And if you don't like watching the channel, change the channel. Because I must be getting better, because I'm starting to get trolls. Even though when I watch my own, it don't look better. But like I said, I must be getting better because I'm starting to get trolls. I don't like it. In fact, sometimes I read them and then I read them again and I'll think, well, do I want to leave that on there? And I thought, no. So I just remove them. So, because I don't want to, I leave a lot of things on where people just don't agree with me, which is all right. But no, they can't call me names and that kind of stuff. I just been removing them. So what else have I got here? I've let's do this January 6th committee. It looks like they're going to go through with one. That's good. It looks like they're already choosing people. And from what I understand, they chose some people today. I don't know if I missed that because they were so busy putting all the other stuff up. I think Liz Cheney and that other Republican that wanted to investigate this ended up getting on there. But I don't know who the other people are on there. I've seen one of them talking to one of the Democrats, but I don't know who the other people are, and I hope they get some good ones. And if Nancy takes care of this and does it right and brings this information forward, I'll quit picking on her. Maybe not forever, but I'll quit picking on her for a while. Anyway, sometimes I'm proud of her and sometimes I'd like to shake her teeth out. But I think she's kind of like me. I'm not sure she's got all her teeth. But I don't know. Mine aren't false, at least not the ones in front, and got a couple of side ones that, whatever. Nothing like telling on yourself. So we're going to see this January 6th commission. Is it going to show, is it going to expose anything? What's it going to do? It's going to take forever. I'm hearing that right now. Even before I even draw a card, I'm being told it's going to take a long time. But let's see. Let's see what's coming out of that. Wow. We're going to get a good look at both sides. That's good. That's what we wanted. And I'm sure it's probably going to be fairer this way than it would have been the other way. You know, tell them what kind of jackasses they'd have put on there if they'd have let part of the Republicans pick all this stuff. So, we got the High Priestess for the signifier. And of course, there's going to be some bad influence and obstacles around this. They're going to be putting out so much shit that it's not going to make any difference to the people that don't want to know the truth anyway. The ones that aren't living in reality, they're not going to listen to this no matter what. There goes the devil right over the top of truth coming out. They're going to try to spin it. But you know what? I don't think they're going to get to spin it all. That's why I think it's probably good that it turned out like it did. It's going to come out where a lot of the money came from this insurrection. Because they're going to do a really deep look. That's why it's going to take a while. And I hope this strength card means that they're going to hold to their strength when they start subpoenaing people. And if they don't show up, subpoenaing? That sounds low-key. When they send their subpoenas out, if these people don't show up, I hope they send the law to go get them. I hope this is a strength card coming through showing that they're going to show some strength on this instead of what I'm call it Jerry Nadler. Uh, the Democratic Party's looking at this pretty good right now. They're making some good plans and setting up some good rules within themselves. And they're going to have some good people running it. We got the King of Wands here. They're going to be triumphant. They're going to bring this truth through. Not that anybody's going to pay any attention that's not listening to real news anyway, but they're going to bring this truth through. And something's going to hang it up. Now, I don't know. This is the ending. This is the outcome. So they're going to expose all this truth. They're going to expose all this money. They're going to have all these demons fighting them. And I don't believe in demons, but sometimes when I watch some of the crap I see on TV, I'm wondering if they haven't released a bunch of them on the earth just to tear up, just to try to get people to take sides to kill everybody off. I don't even know. But anyway, something's going to get hung up. And I don't know if that's because they come out with a lot of conclusions, a lot of truths, a lot of people that should be getting in trouble and maybe even getting convicted, but it's going to get held up for a while. And then it's going to go forward quickly. And the truth's going to come out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Told you it was going to take a while. Maybe that's the hang up. So I'm going to go back here and grab this one. This is a lot of truth coming out on both sides. Both sides. Truth. This is a lot of propaganda coming out over it. Bullshit being thrown out. But this is a magician, and truth right always comes through. Right is might. This is a magician coming through. This is information on who put the money behind it, where the money came from. This is showing that they're taking a really, really deep look. This is the feminine strength, which is from the higher chakras, which is from the heart, the mind, the soul. This is the truth coming out and strength coming out for the Democratic Party in the 7th house. The King of Wands, who's ever in charge of that hearing or whatever, is going to do a good job, and I don't care who it is. I'm going to keep my mouth shut till they're done. They're going to come out as winners, and it's going to be so in your face that they're going to do everything they can to put the brakes on it and hold back any kind of judgment, any kind of consequences that comes from finding out the truth. But then it's going to go through very fastly, and it's going to be justice that's going to win in the higher courts. So that looks good. So maybe by feeling so bummed when they wouldn't go in and investigate this on that, outer committee or whatever it was, maybe this is the best. I have a feeling that this is a good thing that happened to that by happening to go through the House. It'd give them a lot more reasons to scream that it's not bipartisan and all that kind of crap, but it doesn't make any difference. They're going to scream that no matter who does it. So let them scream. Let them scream. I forgot how much fun this is. I always do, people. And if you want a personal reading, remember it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. Add your phone number on there, and I'll get right back with you. I set 3 appointments up today because I was getting low on them. So just email me at lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. Put your phone number in there, and I'll get back with you, and we'll set you up for an appointment for a personal reading if you'd like one. So let's see what else I was going to read on. Well, we might as well read on this since it's today anyway. Weisenberg looks like he's been What, arrested and let go? I mean, well, that's how they do it. Unless there's a reason they're a threat, and then they keep him in jail. But is he going to do any jail time? That's the wrong thing to ask, because he could get out of jail time because he's singing like a birdie. Let's just see what's going on with him. Just see if we can get a picture of what's going on. I know he's probably feeling pretty dilapidated about right now. Kind of wondering just what the F happened to him, I'm sure. Because even though he knew exactly what the procedure was, it's still different when it happens to you. It has to be. So, Weisenberg. What's going on with him? Weisenberg. He knows he's got a pretty good lawyer. And he thinks he knows pretty much, too. He still thinks he's going to get his ass saved. There's more information coming out right away on him. Him, the corporation, other people. This is just information. More information coming forward fastly. And this is not good information for him. Look at this. It's the foundation of the reading. It is not good information for him. It's about more money that got moved around, stuck somewhere, offered payment, something. Foundation and family money, Trump money, money from their organization. Money that the kids have. There's a lot of people getting ready to get involved in this. Look at this. Here comes the children. Here comes the children. And they're coming in fast. Maybe that's the news coming out. He might be the star witness. This is him. The star witness, the star witness, the star witness. Looks like he will turn. If it'll help him get out of jail, well, somebody really close to him is telling him that this would get him out of trouble if he does talk. Probably not the Trump lawyers, but maybe there's an honest one in there that's talking to him honest. He's scared to death this is going to come down on him like somebody hitting him over the head with a club. That's what he's feeling like tonight, like it already has. And he already knows enough from what was in those indictments that the truth's coming out. So, he's not feeling like the spry young man that he did even a week ago, or whatever. He's feeling like this is caught up to him. There's more news coming out right away. The news is not good for him at all. Here we got the Ten of Swords. It's going to be about more hidden money, more money siphoned off. Family money, going into the family. Other areas to do with the Trump children. And he's not going to get involved in that. He's not going to go to jail for the Trump children. Maybe Trump Sr., but not for the children. So he becomes the star witness to keep from going down the river to jail. This is going to surprise everybody. Surprise me. I'm throwing cards on the floor. And the truth is coming out. So that's going to happen quickly, too. I think that had a chariot in there or something. I don't remember what it had in there. But it had something in there that showed that was going to happen pretty fast. So that surprised me. It did. It surprised me. So I'm going to do one more. which is probably going to take me over time, but I might need to cut some of that talking out anyway. So, is this deal they call the New Deal really going through? Of course, if it goes through like they've got it written right now, like the Republicans rewrote it, we'll be paying for it because they're going to put tolls on all the bridges and all the roads. So the poor people have to pay for it instead of the rich people. It won't be like the progressives had their plan. They don't want to do anything for them. They don't want to do anything for the poor people. They just want to take till they wring them out dry. And when I say they, I'm talking about both sides. I'm not saying there's not some good ones in there. Even when they start getting more lineup for more good ones coming in, they gang up on them like crazy if they're colored or if they're women. Look how the Democrats are ganging up on Tina Turner right now. All the money they're bringing in against her. They always do that. Get somebody coming in that might be able to help and be good and be an honest person and do something for the people, and they gang up on them because their donors give them all kinds of money to use against them because they're terrified that they might have to give up some of their graft and some of their dirty money coming in. So let's see. This has got to get better, people. I'm sure it's going to get better. Is this what they're calling partisan deal going to go through? Just the partisan one. Is it going to go through? Well, the signifier is a yes. That surprised the heck out of me. And this is not just a yes. This is a truthful good yes, so that maybe they'll get both of them through like they said they were going to do. I think it'd be the 5th blue moon of the month if they do, but that's what it says. Yes, the bipartisan's going through. Somebody's going to higher ground, so that's got to be whatever. It's got to be the Democrats rolling over. It isn't the Republicans coming up to do something right. We know better than that. No, it gets blocked. Maybe that's a good thing that gets blocked. Maybe that's why the yes card. Foundation is it being blocked. The influence is because the progressives won't let it go through that way. And I hope the hell they don't. Republicans are still getting all their marching orders from Putin from overseas. Something's going to be exposed. I said this before when I was reading cards. There's going to be exposure coming over here to us from foreign countries, from things they learned when Trump was in office and since he's been out of office. It's like the world knows more about what's going on in America than America does because we're looking the other way, but they're not. And their intelligence offices are getting all this stuff, so something's coming through there. I don't know what that's got to do with this New Deal, but we'll see. Biden himself doesn't even think he's doing that good a job, and he's a good person. He wants to do a good job, but he feels like he's failing on it. He just wants things to go back like it was 40 years ago, and it's not going back like it was 40 years ago. We're not back 40 years ago. It looks like whatever happens, it comes up pretty quick and it's not going to be in and out of the house and back and forth too many times. It's coming through fast. And then it's going to be totally manipulated. So people are going to be heartbroken because it crashes and burns, or because it's totally manipulated. I'm going to have to draw one more card on this. What would make the Republicans happier, if it crashes and burns, or if it's shows it's totally manipulated? God, I hope it's whatever. I hope they throw it out of there. I just hope they throw it out of there. I don't know. This is the deal. It says it is. Maybe this is saying, yeah, it's going to come up, and yeah, you got to. Everybody's going to have to go to higher ground. Nobody, they refuse to go to higher ground, so there's a block on it. Got the Empress coming through. There's a block on it because they took all the Green New Deal stuff out. They're supposed to do another one. I know, I mean, I love it when you write me, but don't write me and say it's because it's coming through on the second one. If you believe that, I got a bridge I'm going to sell you. They're going to have to get them through together. This is overseas, helping even manipulate this. This is information coming into our government. I don't know if we'll ever hear about it, but it might leak about what other countries were hearing about what was going on when Trump was in office. Biden's laying awake nights worrying about this. He wants things to be like it's 40 years ago. And it's not 40 years ago, but something's going to start moving forward fast, and then it's going to kind of be hung up because it's going to be super manipulated. And that's going to break a lot of people's hearts. But the outcome is the devil, so that almost makes me afraid it will go through and the people end up paying for it. I don't know, people. What do you think? I'm not sure I learned anything from that or not. Sometimes that changes my mind, or I go back and forth, or something changes, but that didn't. I don't know if that helped anything or not. But anyway, I love you all. I'm glad to see you again. And don't give up on me. I'll be back in a couple of days. I gotta go to that lady doctor's helper tomorrow to see if they're gonna let me have my surgery at all. And or they're gonna try to blackmail me into having a device put in my heart that I'm not having put in there. So anyway, I love y'all. And if anybody's had one of those put in or did as much, I did a whole lot of research on it, and it doesn't look good. It only looks good if you look at the people that make it put out real good research, and some of the doctors that are hawking it on TV put out real good research, but some of the doctors that don't have money involved in it says no, it's not good for you, and that's called a watchman. Anyway, I love you all.